Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over the Module 1 practice test to help you review for our Module 1 test on Friday. So number 1 says there are 12 ghosts and 14 pumpkins. Write the ratio of pumpkins to ghosts in simplest form. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write pumpkins over ghosts. And I'm going to notice that ghosts and pumpkins are not written in the correct order in my problem. So when I go to write my actual ratio, I'm going to write 14 pumpkins over 12 ghosts. And then 14 over 12 can be simplified. I'm going to divide by 2, and I get 7 over 6. This is going to be a part-to-part ratio. And I'm going to say for every 7 pumpkins, there are 6 ghosts. Number 2 says Mrs. Watson got 5 out of 8 correct on her science test. Write the ratio of the number of questions she got incorrect to the total number of questions on the test. So I know that I got 5 out of 8 correct, and I want to write the ratio of the number of questions she got incorrect to the total number of questions. So I've got 5 correct. That means I've got 3 incorrect and 8 total questions. So when I write my ratio, I'm going to write incorrect over total, which is going to be 3 out of 8. This is a part to whole ratio, and that's automatic because of the words out of. So I'm going to write 3 out of 5 questions were incorrect. Number 3 says Mr. Keim can do 30 math problems in 42 minutes. So I'm going to have problems and minutes. He can do 30 math problems in 42 minutes. If he continues to work at this rate, how long will it take him to complete 40 math problems? I'm going to put that 40 at the end. So this is what I'm trying to find. I cannot go straight from 30 to 42, so I know I'm going to divide first by 6. And I get 5 over 7. Then I'm going to multiply by 8, and I get 56 minutes. Number 4 says Ben mows half an acre of a large field every hour. Generate the set of ordered pairs for the ratio relationship between the total acres mowed and the number of hours. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. And then I'm going to mow half an acre, so 0.5 to 1, then 1 to 1.5, and 1.5 to 2 or 2.0. So in between each one of these on the graph is going to be 0.5, so 1.5, 2.5, and so on. So 1 hour is 0.5, 2 hours is 1, 3 hours is 1.5, and 4 hours is 2. And I'm going to connect those dots. So I zoomed in on the graph so you could see a little bit better. But I plot the points on that graph, and then I connect the dots. Number 5 says cereal brand A advertised that they have 10 raisins in their 4-ounce box of cereal. So 4-ounce box of cereal has 10 raisins in it. So if I continue this ratio table, it should be 8 and 20. 12 and 30, 16 and 40. The advertised ratio of ounces of cereal to raisins are shown in the table and the graph. So I have brand A, brand B, brand C. which brand advertises the greatest ratio of raisins to ounces of cereal? So which cereal, when I buy it, if I buy the same number of ounces, am I going to get the most raisins? And I'm going to put all three of these things on the graph. So I'm going to start off by graphing the line that's already there. So brand C is going to be right here. Brand A is going to be 410, 820, 1230, and 1640. So mostly like a straight line right there. So that's going to be brand A. And then brand B is going to be 618, 1236, so right above 35, 2060 is going to be way up here somewhere. And again, I graph what I can, as long as I have 2 points that make a line. I can connect those points and label them, and I can see that brand B is clearly on top. So brand B advertises the greatest ratio of raisins to ounces of cereal. When all of my boxes of cereal are the same size, brand B is going to give me the most raisins. Number 6 says some students in art class are mixing paint to make a shade of green. Colt uses 4 drops of yellow for every 6 drops of blue. Ethan uses 2 drops of yellow for every 4 drops of blue. And Amaya uses 5 drops of yellow for every 8 drops of blue. Which student has the greatest ratio of drops of yellow to drops of blue? That means which paint is going to be the most yellow. So when I'm comparing them, I want to compare them when the blue paint is the same, which paint has the most drops of yellow in it. So I'm going to continue my ratios: 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. Now, I filled in the entire ratio table for each of these. If you did not fill in the entire table, not a big deal. Here I'm going to notice that the blue paint is all the same at 24 drops. So if all 3 mixtures have 24 drops of blue paint, which one is the most yellow? Colt is the most yellow because it has 16 drops of yellow paint as compared to 12 and 15 for Ethan and Amaya. Number 7 says, for every 2 squares, there are 3 circles. Create a tape diagram to represent this ratio. This is going to be our part 1, part 2 total or whole. So part 1 is squares, part 2 is circles, and our whole is all shapes. So 2 squares, 3 circles is 5 total shapes. That means that my tape diagram is going to be 5 total pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to break my tape diagram after 2. This is going to be the side for squares. This is going to be the side for circles. Number 8 says 3 out of 5 students. So here's my part, here's my whole. So part 1, love pizza. Part 2, don't love pizza. Whole, all students. So 3 students love pizza out of 5 total students. That means 2 students don't. My tape diagram is still going to have 5 parts. This time I'm going to break after 3 because these students love pizza and these students don't love pizza. So those are my tape diagrams, 1 parts apart and 1 part 2 whole. Number 9 says, the table gives the ratio of teachers to students at Upton Middle School. So it looks like 22 to 1, 44 to 2, 66 to 3, and 88 to 4. And then they give me Lakeshore's ratio in words. At Lakeshore Middle School, the ratio of teachers to students is 12 to 288. So I'm going to set up a very similar looking table for Lakeshore. So I'm going to have students and teachers. And I've got 228 to 12. And now I'm going to look at what this question's actually asking me to do. So it says, circle the statement that correctly compares the ratio of the teachers to students at the 2 schools. A says both schools have an equivalent ratio of students to teachers. Well, I don't know that yet because the table on the left doesn't go to 228 or 12, and the table on the right doesn't have any of those other values in it. But I can simplify my table on the right. I think that 12 goes into 228. So I'm going to look at my multiplication chart. So 12 goes into 228 19 times. So this is going to be 19, and this is going to be 1. And then now I can compare these. So if I look here, I've got 22 to 1. And here I've got 19 to 1. So at St. Joe, there's 22 teachers for 1 student. At Lakeshore, there's 19 teachers for 1 student. So they do not have an equivalent ratio. 22 and 19 are not the same number. It says there are more students per teacher at Lakeshore than at Upton. That's not true because Lakeshore is 19 students to 1 teacher. Upton is 22 students to 1 teacher. There are more students at Lakeshore Middle School than at Upton Middle School. Well, I don't know that for sure because I know there's 228 students to 12. That's the ratio they gave me. And then I know that there's 22 to 1 or 44 to 2 or 66 to 3 or 88 to 4. I don't know how many total students there are in the whole school. So I don't know that that's necessarily true either. Part D says there are more students per teacher at Upton Middle School than at Lakeshore Middle School. And that is true because 22 is bigger than 19. So D is my correct answer here. Number 10 says 11 out of 19 people surveyed at the mall have a dog. Based on these results, of the 133 total people at the mall, how many people don't have a dog? This is going to be a part whole table. So I'm going to have part 1, part 2, and whole. So I'm going to have a dog, don't have, and all people. So 11 out of 19 have a dog. That means 8 don't. And it says based on the results of the 133 total people, so 133 goes in the bottom of my table. 19 times 7 is 133. So I'm going to multiply by 7 in the rest of my table. So 77 and 56. How many people don't have a dog? 56 people. Number 11, Ellie has 4 dimes for every 7 pennies. So this is a part-to-part ratio. How many total coins would she have if she has 36 dimes? So I need to do part 1, part 2 whole. So I've got dimes and pennies. and coins. So there are 4 dimes for every 7 pennies, and there are 11 total coins. How many total coins would she, would she have if she had 36 dimes? So I'm going to multiply by 9 in all 3 spots. So 63 and then 99. She would have 99 coins. Number 12 says the ratio of juniors to seniors on the track team is 5 to 9. So part 1, part 2 whole. I've got juniors, seniors, and all. So 5, 9, and 14, because 5 plus 9 is 14. And there's 112 total athletes. 14 times 8 is 112. 9 times 8 is 72. 5 times 8 is 40. How many juniors are on the track team? There are 40 juniors. 13 says the weight of the items in a truck is 2 tons. How many pounds do the item in the truck weigh? So tons and pounds are my 2 units. So I'm going to create a table that relates tons to pounds. There are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton, and I have 2 tons. So 4,000 pounds. Number 14 says the bicyclist traveled 45 miles in 3 hours. How many miles per hour did the bicyclist travel? So here's my division sign. So I'm going to have miles over hours. So 45 miles in 3 hours. I'm going to divide by 3, so 15 miles in 1 hour. Number 15 says Sally bought 5 notebooks for $4, so I'm going to put cost for, how much did she pay for each notebook? So I'm going to put cost so there's my division over the notebooks. Now remember when we did this one, we're going to change it to cents, so it's out of 100 cents. So times 20 is 80. So this is going to be 80 cents for 1 notebook. Number 16 said Lisa rides her bicycle 18 miles every 10 hours. So when I set up my ratio table, miles, hours. At this rate, how many hours did Lisa ride if she rode 72 miles? I can get straight from 18 to 72 by multiplying by 4. So I'm going to say 40 hours. Number 17 says a warehouse sells cans of soup in a case. Each case contains 4 cans and sells for a price of $15. At a local grocery store, 7 cans of the same brand of soup are on sale for $28. So this is where I'm going to have my warehouse and my grocery store tables. And I've got cost and cans. At the warehouse, it's $15 for 4 cans. At the grocery store, it's $28 for 7 cans. A caterer needs to buy 56 cans. So I'm going to put 56 cans in each of my tables. And then I'm going to get to that 56. So times 14. So 15 times 14 is 210. And then here times 8 times 8. So 264. And I want to know how much will the caterer save by buying the cans from the warehouse instead of from the grocery store. So I'm going to do 264 minus 210. And I'm going to get $54 is saved. Number 18 says you mix 24 tablespoons of chocolate sauce and 6 cups of milk in a green cup. In an orange cup, you mix 5 cups of milk with 15 tablespoons of chocolate sauce. Which mixture tastes more chocolatey? So I've got an orange cup that's got chocolate and milk, and a green cup that's got chocolate and milk. So in the green cup, I've got 24 tablespoons of chocolate and 6 cups of milk. In the orange cup, I've got 5 cups of milk and 15 tablespoons of chocolate sauce. I'm going to choose to make the milk the same. So I'm going to divide by 6 in the first table, and I'm going to divide by 5 in the second table. And the reason why I chose to do that is because then I can get a 1 on the bottom. So I'm going to do 1 here, and this is 4. I have 1 here, and this is 3. So I've got the same amount of milk in each glass now. And then I want to know which one tastes more chocolatey. So I want to know which one has more chocolate sauce in it. So this one over here has more chocolate sauce in the same amount of milk. So I'm going to say the green cup. This is the end of the Module 1 practice test. If you have any further questions, please let me know.